Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a quick hit podcast to get you ready for the day. Today is Thursday, July 25th here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it is a special day indeed. The Steelers reported to training camp at Saint Vincent College yesterday, and well, today is their first workout. Technically, they're going to have 4 acclimatization days. Acclimation days. I always get tripped up on that, but in any case, a couple days before they put on the pads. Pirates also won an important series with the Cardinals. They head out on the road after an off day. Well, they already went out on the road, but an off day today. They get started with the series against the Diamondbacks. Going to talk about that, a few more things. Before we do that, I want to remind you that we're sponsored by the North Shore Tavern. You don't have to be a baseball fan to love it there. The interior is wall-to-wall Pirates. Their appetizers, entrees, cocktails, and, of course, steak and seafood on a sizzling lava stone. Open every day at the North Shore Tavern across from PNC Park is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. Big time in Steelers land yesterday. You've probably read some of that coverage. I'd like to highlight a couple things as well as throw my opinion on top of a few of them. I think the biggest one, honestly, is Najee Harris. Hearing from him for the first time since the Steelers declined his 5th-year option, what he thought about it. I think we could all kind of infer what Najee was going to say, but basically talked about running backs being devalued contract-wise, which Najee has talked about before. He's not wrong. I'm still a little surprised that they declined the option. It would be a $6.7 million option, but hey, I mean, if you look at it from this perspective, I think the Steelers are going to have a strong running game. I think they're going to try to have a strong running game with he and Jaylen Warren. Najee Harris has an axe to grind. Great. That can only help the Steelers. Do I think that leads to a deal getting done? Probably not. I think if Najee Harris has a strong year, makes it through healthy, probably take that to free agency and try to cash in on a major contract, which he also kind of hinted at. But hey, the Steelers can reap that benefit, and I'll be curious to see what the usage is as well with Jaylen Warren, Najee Harris, and how that rushing attack looks. But that is far from the only storyline of camp or storyline to monitor as practices start. Ray Fittipaldo did an excellent piece where some camp battles to monitor. My personal one's going to be the offensive line. I feel like that is not anything that we saw enough of during OTAs and minicamp. But Dan Moore Jr., Broderick Jones, Troy Fautanu, what happens there? You might say, why not quarterback? Why not quarterback? Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, like that. I refuse to believe that Russell Wilson is anything other than the starter. You don't bring somebody with his resume and accomplishments in here without the idea of starting him. Now, that doesn't mean that he's going to be the starter the entire season, right? If he struggles, they're going to go to Justin Fields at some point. But to me, it's a much greater thing. And how does that offensive line look? How quickly can the rookies assimilate? They weren't necessarily getting first-team reps in minicamp, OTAs, that sort of thing. But you're also talking about football in shorts. Does it matter? Second wide receiver spot's going to be another one to watch, to see it play out. Ray framed it this way. I thought it was interesting. Roman Wilson versus the field. You're looking at Van Jefferson, Scotty Miller, Quez Watkins, Calvin Austin III, etc. And Ray put some predictions in there as to who wins the job. I actually don't disagree with any of what Ray predicted, but I'm not going to spoil them. Make sure you check out the piece at post-gazette.com. But just some things to be watching there. The other offensive line battle, I should have mentioned this earlier, Nate Herbig, Zach Frazier, at center. Again, I don't know how much of a battle those are going to be. I still feel, you draft Fautanu where you did, you draft Zach Frazier where you did, you expect these guys to come in and be a huge part of the offensive line, and for the offensive line to be together for a long, long time. All right, third storyline I wanted to hint on with the Steelers is my Jack Lambert column. If you haven't checked that out yet, it's been a months-long pursuit for me. This has also just been a fascination. I'm 40 years old, was born in 83. I was not alive for, the Jack Lambert era, just call it that. But you've always, right, like Steelers fans of my age have been told about things and educated about things, and you watch things. The mystique around Lambert is so cool. Like, you ask anybody older than me who your favorite Steeler is, it's probably going to be Jack Lambert or Joe Greene, but you're going to have this special place in your heart for Jack Lambert, and understandably so. So I tried to track down Jack Lambert. That was a goal. That did not happen. Didn't really expect that goal to be realized, knowing what I've learned about Jack Lambert, he's an intensely private person, but just so many fun quotes in there from Joe Greene. Jack became a Steeler when he got drafted. Jack felt like he was right at home. So again, Joe Greene, some guys comes in, there's something that they don't get. They don't have this special attitude you have to have. Jack fell in right away. It's Joe Greene, Rocky Bleier, Mel Blount talking about what Jack Lambert meant to those teams. Rocky Bleier's kind of a bit of a jerk, but you need that. You need somebody to say you're messing up. Well, Lambert, I shouldn't say it that way. Rocky didn't call him a jerk. It's just that's my description of the type of leadership that Jack Lambert provided and challenging teammates and being really a special player and a special leader. It was cool to do that column, and wish I would have got Jack Lambert, but again, understand why it didn't happen. So, okay. Going to take a short break with a message from our friends at the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. Back on the other side, talk about a couple more things.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
Welcome back to First 10. I'm your host, Jason Mackey. I lied a little bit. I was going to transition to some Pirates stuff, but I did want to share this story from Joe Greene that I couldn't work in there. It didn't really fit in any way, but he said in 1974, he thought it was Chicago to receive Player of the Year award. And he's in the game room shooting pool. And here's this guy. He's got a suit and tie, clean shaven. And it's kind of staring at Joe Greene. And Joe's looking at him and said, what the heck is this? Said, what's wrong with this guy? And it turns out to be Lambert. Joe Greene didn't know this at the time. He goes, you don't know who I am, do you? He goes, heck no. Who are you? And Joe Greene just laughs because I've never seen Jack look like that. He's in a suit, clean shaven, looked like a lumberjack when he was coming to work. So it was funny. They were shooting pool in a game room together and didn't even know. Joe Greene claims he didn't know who Jack Lambert was. So, all right, Pirates-wise, an important one yesterday on a couple different levels. Martin Perez starts, goes 6 scoreless, walks 5, works around some trouble, strikes out 2. But I would contend this was a very important start for Martin Perez. Went just 3 2/3 his last start out, allowed 6 runs. Again, I think there was some surprise, consternation, whatever you want to say, that he was allowed to start again. It's probably strategic by the Pirates, to be honest with you. If you want to try to trade Martin Perez, it's a good showcase outing for him. And maybe he doesn't start again before the deadline. I haven't looked at the exact dates, but they wouldn't have to start him if they don't want to. And you say, look, hey, this guy just went 6 scoreless. Yeah, he had some bumpy stuff earlier in the year, but was battling injury, coming back from it, etc. Has had a couple good outings in there. I think it would behoove the Pirates probably to try to get something for Perez. And also, I mean, the way, money-wise, I'm not saying this is the reason to make a move, but you get out from under the remainder of an $8 million contract. Maybe you bring in a little bit more. But, it is weird having so many starting pitchers trying to get them into 6 spots. Again, I'm not a big believer in turning away starting pitching, but if you can turn that into, a lower level lottery ticket prospect, some money savings, I think that would probably make sense for the Pirates. Ben Cherington talked yesterday as well. You can read, I wrote a column off of it. Noah Hiles wrote a news story off of it, some of the stuff. He said, I can't say it was terribly groundbreaking. He outlined sort of the way the Pirates are looking at this thing. And I completely understand. It's a unique market because of the number of teams in there, the wild card race. Nobody, very few teams are traditional sellers. Like, we know we're out, we're done. What do you want? They're not there. Teams are honestly trying to do what the Pirates are doing a little bit, offload some, add some, get better at the major league level, replenish your farm system. So it's an interesting staring contest happening right now. In any case, the Pirates take 4 of 6 on their homestand, very much put themselves in the thick of things. Big series this weekend: Ortiz, Gonzalez, Keller, the 3 starters. That looks like Skeens Monday in Houston. So got to keep going. They got to stay in it. Playing good ball right now. Rowdy Tellez yesterday, very impressed with him. Just the career arc, or the season arc, I should say, Had one of those moments yesterday. I'm like, this guy was somebody everybody wanted to run out of town, and now he's quickly become one of the most popular players and productive players in the Pirates lineup. John Heyman from MLB Network in the New York Post put something out that he expects the Pirates to trade for Jazz Chisholm and Josh Bell. And Chisholm, I think, is perfectly reasonable. I won't disagree with that. But as far as Bell, I wouldn't. I like Josh Bell, but I don't get the fit with Rowdy Tellez. I'm going to continue to run Rowdy Tellez out there. He's been fantastic, all that fun stuff. So we'll see what they do. I'm out of time for today. Actually, have to get in the car and head out to Latrobe. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get this content and all the rest from Post-Gazette writers and columnists. And thanks for watching First 10, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.